Have you ever bit into a meatball and it was dry? That's so not the biz, but today I'll teach you a couple of tricks so that never happens again. So stick around. Aloha Maika'i, my name is Relle and welcome to my kitchen where I like to share all my favorite island and Hawaiian style recipes. And today we'll be making air fryer teriyaki meatballs. But before we get started, I'd like to mahalo Foodland Hawaii for sponsoring this video. As always, thoughts and opinions are all my own. Now, meatballs, so many times I've had dried, not so great ones. But today I'll teach you a couple of tricks to prevent that. Juicy, sweet and salty meatballs make a perfect appetizer, and you can serve it just like that, or serve it on top of a sticky white rice or on top noodles and make a perfect dish any time of day. So hele mai, come along and let's make some air fryer teriyaki meatballs. Don't worry if you don't have an air fryer, there's other ways to make this as well, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. First, let's gather your ingredients. Need ground beef, garlic, teriyaki sauce, egg, panko, green onion, ground pork, mayo, salt, pepper, cornstarch, and water. Heat your air fryer to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll start this recipe with a little bit of prep. We'll start with the green onion, cut the bottom off. You can save this and plant it in your garden if you'd like. And go ahead and make thin slices into the green onion like this. Be careful of your fingers and slice until you get all the way through to the end. And next, the garlic. I like to use a garlic press, and I'll link the one I have in the description box below. It makes it into very fine pieces because nobody likes to bite into big chunks of garlic. Don't worry, if you don't have a garlic press, you totally can dice this up yourself. Go ahead and put the garlic in, squeeze it through, and voila! You go ahead and set this aside. Now, the secret trick to juicy meatballs, two big things. First, I like to use a mix of 1-to-1 ground beef and ground pork. I find that this makes the juiciest mixture around. Now, you could totally do all beef, all pork. If you don't like those types of meat, you can do turkey, chicken, any ground meat is fine in this recipe. To a large bowl, you'll add ground beef, ground pork, panko, which are Japanese breadcrumbs, and the trick, adding a little bit of mayo to the mix to keep that moisture in. Promise, no dry meatballs around. And then add the mayo to the mix, along with garlic and egg, and this will help bind your meatballs together. Some salt and pepper, add as much or as little as you like. And lastly, the green onions. Then get yourself some food safe gloves and mix it all up. I don't know, I find that mixing it by hand just seems to get everything well incorporated. But by all means, if you don't want to do it like this, you totally could mix it with a spoon as well. Now to shape the meatballs, I like to use a large cookie scoop or an ice cream scoop like this. This gives you uniform sized meatballs and ensures the cook time is the same throughout. Just set them on a lined cookie sheet like this, and then we'll move to the next part. After you scoop them all out, then you'll want to roll them into nice uniform balls. So cup your hands like this, and you'll take the ball and roll it in between your hand to get a perfectly shaped round meatball. Finish rolling out all the meatballs, and then you'll go ahead and set this aside. Now, if you don't have an air fryer, you totally can make this in the oven. You'd set it on the baking tray and bake at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. Once your air fryer has preheated, you'll spray a little bit of nonstick cooking spray to the basket to prevent your meatballs from sticking. Then you'll add your meatballs into the basket in a single layer. I have a 6-quart, and you can fit about a dozen meatballs at a time here. Then you'll close the basket and cook for about 12 minutes or to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. When it's done, it'll look like this. You can opt to shake the basket halfway through to toss the meatballs if you'd like. No dried meatballs here. Now for the teriyaki sauce, make sure you get yourself a good one. I'm using Foodland's Maika'i pineapple teriyaki marinade. You'll add about a cup of that to the pan, and then you'll mix some cornstarch and water and mix until well combined, and you'll set that aside. Continue heating the teriyaki sauce until it starts to simmer. Once it starts to simmer, then you can add that cornstarch slurry to the pan and mix until well combined, and you'll start to see the sauce thicken up. Once it coats the back of the spoon, you'll know it's almost there. You can continue cooking until you get that texture that you like. I like it about like this. Then you'll just add the meatballs to the teriyaki sauce. Now the meatballs are already cooked, so you're just tossing to coat them in the teriyaki sauce like this. So you'll just roll them around to make sure each piece is nicely glazed with that delicious teriyaki sauce. Then you can serve it as an appetizer like this. You can garnish with some green onion and some sesame seeds. Enjoy! And that's how you make air fryer teriyaki meatballs. If you love teriyaki, then check out this recipe here. Or if you'd like to see what YouTube thinks you should watch, then check out this recipe here. And until next time, ahoy ho!
Thank you for watching my mom's video.